We continue now at the top of Daf Pei Gimel Amud Beis in Mesechet Sanhedrin. This is Sanhedrin Daf 83b. And the previous Amud, the Gemara said that if a Kohen is Tameh and he eats Truma Tahora, so then the punishment is Misa B'dei Shamayim. But if the Truma is Tameh, if the Truma is impure, so then there would be no punishment of Misa B'dei Shamayim. And the Gemara learns that out from the Pasuk, because the Pasuk says, Umesu bo ki yechalalu, and we darshan prat, that excludes Lazusha Mechulelis V'omedis. When you're talking about Truma that's already impure, it's already Mechulelis, it's already profaned, and therefore the pasuk is specifically talking about truma tahora. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. We said earlier, V'zar sha'achal esat truma, if a non-Jew eats truma, so there also the punishment is misa b'dei shamayim. And the Gemara says, Amar Rav says, Zar sha'achal esat truma loka. Rav says that if a zar eats truma, the punishment is malchus. And the Gemara continues, Amri le Rav Kahana v'Ravasi l'Rav. Rav Kahana and Ravasi, they said to Rav, Leima mar b'misa, the master should say that a zar sha'achal esat truma, that the punishment is not malchus, the punishment is actually misa b'dei shamayim. Techsiv, because it's written in the pasuk, v'chol zar lo yochal kodesh. It says a zar cannot eat kodesh. Now this pasuk of v'chol zar lo yochal kodesh is Vayikra Chaf Beis Yud. It is right following the pasuk in Vayikra Chaf Beis Tes, which says Umesu bo ki yechalalu. So that misa b'dei shamayim, that should apply to v'chol zar lo yochal kodesh as well. And the Gemara says to that, Ani Hashem mekadsham hifsiko inyan. According to Rav, the words Ani Hashem mekadsham, which are the end of that pasuk tes, that actually is considered to be a hefsik. It's considered to divide and say the misa doesn't apply to the next pasuk, and that's why Rav says again, zar shachal asat truma is loke. But the Gemara continues. Meisvei, we have a question on Rav. It said ve'elu hein shabamisa. The following, the punishment is misa b'dei shamayim, and one of the ones in the list was, as we said, zar ha'ochel asat truma. That if a zar eats truma, the punishment is misa b'dei shamayim. That seems to contradict what Rav said, that the punishment is malchus. And the Gemara says to that, Masnisa ad Rav Karamis, are you asking from a brisa against Rav? Rav Tanhu, Polig Rav is considered to be a Tana, and he is able to argue on a brisa. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. We said earlier, V'zor shashimesh. If a non-Kohen serves in the Beis HaMikdash, the punishment is misa b'dei shamayim. D'chsiv, as it's written, V'hazor hakarev yumas. The pasuk says, V'hazor hakarev yumas. So again, that shows that the punishment is misa b'dei shamayim. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. V'tamei shashimesh. It said that if a Kohen is tamei and serves in the Beis HaMikdash, the punishment is also misa b'dei shamayim. And the Gemara says, Kidboy minei Rav Chia baravin me Rav Yosef. It's like Rav Chia baravin asked from Rav Yosef, Minayin l'tamei shashimei shu b'misa. From where do we know that if a Kohen is tamei and he serves in the Beis HaMikdash, that the punishment is misa b'dei shamayim? T'chsiv, because it's written, Daber al Aaron ve'el bonav v'nazru min kodshei b'nei Yisrael v'lo yechalalu, as shem kodshei, it uses the word v'lo yechalalu, and so we make a gzeira shaveh. V'yolev chilul chilul mitruma. We learn out chilul chilul from truma. Ma'alahalan b'misa, just like over there, the punishment is misa b'dei shamayim. Afkan, so too over here by a Kohen who's tamei b'misa, the punishment is misa b'dei shamayim. The Gemara says, V'neilef chilul chil minosar. This is similar to the question that was asked on the previous Amud. Why not learn tamei shashimesh? We should learn a gzeira shaveh of chilul from nosar. It also uses the word chilul by nosar. The Gemara says, Ma'alahalan kares, afkan kares. And if you learn from nosar, we would say just like by nosar, by leftover hektish, the punishment is kares. So too over here, when it comes to a tamei shashimesh, the punishment should be kares. And the Gemara says to that, Mistabra mitruma havalei l'meilef. It makes sense. It makes more sense to learn from truma rather than learning from nosar, because truma has the following in common with a Kohen tamei shashimesh, shekain guf tamei mikvah baravim. All of those things they have in common. The Gemara says, Adrab, on the contrary, minosar havalei l'meilef. We should learn from nosar, shekain kodesh panim pigul v'nosar. It has those things in common. And the Gemara says to that, chilul derabim, chilul derabim, if it's better to learn chilul that's in the plural form from chilul that's in the plural form. And Rashi explains, Guf tamei mikvah baravim, tamei shashimesh. If someone is tamei and he serves in the Beis HaMikdash, v'tamei shachal truma, and someone who's tamei who eats truma, shneim, both of them have the following in common, psulei haguf. They are both psulei haguf. They themselves are tamei. Ushneim psulei tuma. They're both. It's both relevant to psulim that have to do with tuma. V'yeshlam heter b'mikvah. Both of them can go to the mikvah in order to purify. V'chilulo b'lashon rab, and also the word chilul is in plural. Shekain kodesh. But then when it comes to nosar, what they have in common is kodesh, meaning tamei shashimesh v'asak b'kachim. The tamei that has to do with kachim, he's serving in the Beis HaMikdash. Uvenosar, and also when it comes to nosar, it's also, in that case also it's kodesh. Ushneim bifnim, and also they're both again in the Beis HaMikdash. Masha ein kein b'truma. That is not so by truma, and the Gemara ultimately said still, it's better better to learn chilul in the plural form from chilul in the plural form. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. We said earlier, Tvul Yom Shashimesh, if somebody is Tameh, but he's in the status of a Tvul Yom, meaning he's waiting for the day to end to be totally Tahar, and he serves in the Beis HaMikdash, so there also, the punishment is Misa B'dei Shamayim. The Gemara says, Menolan, from where do we know that? The Tanya, we learned in a Brayser, Rav Simoy Omer, Rav Simoy says, Remez, L'Tvul Yom, Shem Avad Chilal Minayin. From where do we know a hint that if a Tvul Yom serves in the Beis HaMikdash, that we say that is not a good avoda? Talmud Lomer, the pasuk says, Kedoshim yu le'Elohayim v'lo yechalalu. It says v'lo yechalalu. Emeinu inyan l'tamei shashimesh. Now we don't want to apply this pasuk to someone who's tamei who serves in the Beis HaMikdash. The nafkalon mi v'yinazru. We already learned that from the pasuk of v'yinazru. So tenei inyan l'tvul yom shashimesh. We'll apply it to a tvul yom who serves in the Beis HaMikdash. V'yolav chilul chil mitrum. And again, we're going to learn the same gzer shava chilul chil from truma malhalan b'misa afkan b'misa. Just like over there, it's misa b'dei shamayim. So too over here, it's misa b'dei shamayim. And the Gemara continues at the two dots, mechusar begadim. Also, if the Kohen serves and he's not wearing the proper garments, we're going to say the punishment is misa b'dei shamayim. The Gemara says, Menolan, from where do we know that? Amar Rabbi Yavo, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yavo says that Rabbi Yochanan says, Umatu ba mishmeid Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Shimon, and some say that it's in the name of Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Shimon as follows. The chagarta, some avnates, talking about the avnates, which is one of the begadim that the Kohanim wear. Bizman shebigdeim aleim, and we learn from there that when they're wearing the proper garments, when their garments are upon them, kunasam aleim, then they're considered to be in the state of kahuna. But ein bigdeim aleim, if their garments are not upon them, ein kunasam aleim, they're not in the state of kahuna. V'havaluhu zarim, they're considered like zarim, like non-kohanim. V'yamar mar, and the master said, zar shashimesh b'misa, that if a non-kohen serves in the Beis HaMikdash, the punishment is misa b'dei shamayim, and that's why the punishment by mechusar begadim is misa b'dei shamayim. And the Gemara continues at the two dots, mechusar kapara minolan. From where do we know that someone who's mechusar kapara, that means the person, what they're lacking is just to bring that final carbon in order to be pure, but they're not yet fully pure. From where do we know that in that situation, if they serve in the Beis HaMikdash, we're going to say misa b'dei shamayim. Amar Rav Huna says the Amar Kra, because the pasuk says this is talking with regards to the tumah of a woman who is pregnant who gave birth. It says v'chiper aleh hakohen v'tohera. It says that there's going to be the atonement to become pure. Tohera michlal shehi tameya. You use the word tohera, it sounds like you're saying that she's going to become pure. Right now she's impure, and so therefore you see a mechusar kapar in general is impure. V'yamar mar, and the master said, Tamei shashimesh b'misa, somebody who is impure, who serves in the Beis HaMikdash, the punishment is misa b'dei shamayim. And the Gemara continues at the two dots, v'shelo rachutz yadayim v'raglayim enolan. From where do we know that if somebody didn't wash his hands and feet and he serves in the Beis HaMikdash, from where do we know the punishment is misa b'dei shamayim? T'chsiv, because it's written in the pasuk, bevoam el oel moed yirchatzu mayim v'lo yamusu. It says they washed with water and then they shouldn't die. The implication is if they don't wash, then the punishment is misa. The punishment is misa b'dei shamayim. And the Gemara continues at the two dots, v'shesuya yayin, and let's say they serve when they have drunk wine. T'chsiv, because that's also a pasuk. It's written in the pasuk, yayin v'shecher al teish, it says they can't drink wine. The full pasuk is yayin v'shecher al teish ta'tov v'nechu yitach bevo'achem alo amoed v'lo samusu chukas olam l'dorosechem. It mentions misa, and so therefore we know the punishment there is misa b'dei shamayim. And the Gemara continues at the two dots, Pruei Rosh, it mentions somebody who serves and they have let their hair grow long, because it's written in the pasuk, Rosham lo yigalechu, it says they shouldn't shave their heads, Zufera lo yishalechu, and then they shouldn't grow out. They have to make sure not to let their hair grow long. Uchsiv basrei, and then it's written right after that, V'yayin lo yishtu, it says they shouldn't drink wine. So therefore, Iskish Pruei Rosh l'shasuya yayin. We see there's a comparison between those who let their hair grow long and those who drink wine. Mashasuya yayin b'misa, af Pruei Rosh b'misa, just like those who drink wine, the punishment is misa b'dei shamayim, so too by Pruei Rosh. And these psukim that we're quoting over here are from Yechezkel. The full psukim are V'rosham lo yigalechu, Fer lo yishalechu, Kasam yichsum es rashayim, V'yayin lo yishtu, Kol koin bevoim al achatzer apnimis. So again, there we see the comparison between Pruei Rosh and Shesuya Yayin. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. We said earlier, Aval Orel Onein Yoshev Ba'azhara. When it comes to an Orel, someone who doesn't have a bris milah. When it comes to an Onein, somebody who's in a state of acute mourning. And when it comes to Yoshev, somebody who serves in the Beis HaMikdash when they're sitting, those are all an azhara, a warning. It's not punished by misa b'dei shamayim. And the Gemara says, Aril menolan, from where do we know someone who does not have a bris milah, that it's an azhara? Amar Rav Chisda says, Davar zeh mitoras Moshe Rabbeinu lo lamadnu. This thing we did not learn from the Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu. At Sheba Yechezkel ben Buzi v'lamanu, was when Yechezkel came and he taught this halacha. It says in the pasuk called Ben Necher Erel Leiv, it talks about an Erel Leiv. And Rashi explains, Ben Nechor Kohen Mumar Lavodas Kochavim. What this refers to is a Kohen who is known to serve Avodah Zarah, Shu Era Lev. That's called Era Lev. He's serving Avodah Zarah because V'nisnachru Maisav Le'aviv Shebashamayim. His ways are strange to his Father in heaven, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Pei Dalid Amud Aleph.